like I wanted to grab Sifu,
Mm-hmm.
but I just thought to myself, I got to keep playing Pokemon. And I heard the Sifu was actually kind of hard, and I don't want to pay $40 and be ass at it.
It's very hard because your boy bought Sifu.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. I bought Sifu this week and I played it. A little aside about Sifu before we get into the game proper, though. I didn't know about this, but I heard it on 2 different podcasts that I listened to. So both Gamer Friends and the Podquisition mentioned that Slow Clap, the developer, consulted no people of color, no Asians. Like, it's an entirely white team that did this Kung Fu revenge story with all like Asian characters, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Not all of them are Asian, but like the main character, the squad you go after, all that.
Right.
And I think they had like one Kung Fu consultant, which was a white guy who went to China, learned Kung Fu, and came back and taught them. Like, I was like, damn, you couldn't even do the bare minimum, could you? And so I haven't seen anything problematic, but then again, I'm not in that culture,
Right.
so how would I notice? But there wasn't anything like, there's no character named like Lo Wang. Like, it's not Shadow Warrior bad. You know what I mean? It seems probably a little derivative of classic Kung Fu movies because that's what it's inspired by, and the classic revenge story of, you.
You killed my father.
Yeah, exactly. In the beginning of the game, you play as the main bad guy coming to take out the Sifu, his
Mm-hmm.
master, and you have a crew of 4 other people, and then you run into the main character as a child, which you could pick to be a boy or a girl,
Yeah.
and they take that main character out, and then that kind of kicks off the you can come back thing. And when you start the game proper, you're starting in the very first area and going after the first of the 5 bosses. So there's 5 levels. It sounds like it's
Okay.
gonna be pretty short, but here's how the game kind of fleshes itself out. You're 20 years old, you go to the first level, and I'm doing pretty good in this first level, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm running up to dudes just like,
Oh,
"Waka!
yeah.
Bow,
Fucking
bow,
them
bow,
up.
bow." And there's like a stun bar. So think Final Fantasy VII Remake. How
Okay.
you got the stun bar up so you could open them up for like a special attack, but you're opening them up for a finisher essentially.
Yeah.
And most characters in the level, aside from mini bosses and then certain characters that are easily marked, the stun bar goes up pretty quick as long as you don't get interrupted. So you can do a bunch of light attacks, maybe a few heavy attacks, and then it's clearly signposted to hit triangle and circle together. Boom, finish them. When you finish an enemy, if you've taken any damage, you'll get a little bump back to your health.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm going through the level, and then I get to this rooftop, and I get surrounded a little bit, and I'm like, it's whatever. And then like 2 of them hit me from the side, just boom, dead. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, just I got bodied. And I was like, okay. So I hop back up, and it took 1 year. So I was like, okay, I'm 21. Okay, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Start fighting. Bodied. What? What?
I just turned 21.
23. 2 years because I died twice in a row. So 2 years. Now I'm 23.
Mm.
Okay, let me just back bodied. Shit. So 3 years. Now I'm 26.
Mm.
I don't think I left that rooftop until I was like 35.
Damn.
What happened is this guy like started to glow yellow and just like really took a lot of hits. And then there was other people with like weapons, which you have to watch out for. And they teach you, especially in the opening level, to do parries, like perfect blocks.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's some nuance. There's some blocks where you can also press the directional button to duck down or like hop up, like to watch out for a leg sweep. But also there's the dash button, which used in battle will help you kind of leap out of the way, which you do need to do. And at least as far as I've played so far, and maybe this is clearly shown, but I didn't see any clear indication yet when I should dodge and when I should try to block.
Yeah.
So I was struggling with that, and I was getting my footing with that while trying to like figure out the game. Now, what's interesting is I would go through and I'd find keys and key cards and codes and like little pieces of whatever to flesh out the lore and the information about this first area, but also access to different rooms. And when I came back subsequently to that level later on, which I'll talk about how I got to that point, I could go straight to a door that I'd normally have to go to a side room to get the key for.
Oh, okay.
So it's a speedrunner's dream because you can carve a way through these levels super quick, skipping a lot of things. But some of the things you skip, while it may be gated by a fight, might also get you like an extra point. There's these little shrines or like these little jade statues that like you can access and either spend experience points that you gain from fighting or spend a little token if you're under a certain age or like maybe you get more health back when you defeat an enemy, or you raise your focus mode, which is where you can do your special abilities if you have enough focus
Yeah.
bar, right? So, and there's a lot of moves to unlock too. And you can purchase moves, usually when you die or at the end of the level or at those statues if you want. The moves don't stay with you unless you buy them multiple times, and it tracks how many times you repurchase the move. And I think if you repurchase like up to 5 times, I don't know if that's across the board, but so far that's what I see, you can keep
Mm-hmm.
it. What's cool is I like to experiment with the different moves because they're cheap and then figure out which ones are effective for me. There's this move where you hold the heavy attack, and then when they get close, if you release it, bow, you smack them really fast in the face and it stuns them. That's an effective move. I love that move. So I
Nice.
was like, let me unlock this shit immediately. You know what I mean? So you get to kind of figure out like what works with your play style if you are open to experimenting and being okay with redoing a level. I got all the way through the first level on my first try, but when I finished the first level, you want to know how old I was?
She's 60.
Close. I was 55. I went from 20 to 55. I was like, damn. So I got to the second level and I got maybe 30-40% in, and I was like in my 70s and I died.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what age you are when you die, but it's somewhere in your 70s. Now, what's cool, you have that chain counter when you die I talked about. So you die once, 1 year, twice, 2 years, 3 times, 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you beat mini bosses or pass certain checkpoints in a level, you reset that timer.
Oh, okay.
So then if you die again, they just add 1 year, right?
Mm.
And also every, I want to say 10 years or so, but again, I don't know the exact, you start to come back with less health, but more damage.
Yeah.
So the older you get, the less health you're working with, but the more damage you do.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of little mechanics in play to make things spicy. So I went back to the first level to see if I could start the second level at a younger age. Because you could go and just start the second level again, but you're going to be 55.
Right.
So I went through the first level and I got through a little bit better. The rooftop was tough, but I didn't die as many times. And I got to the end. I started to learn that end boss a little better. Like, okay, here's how you dodge this. It's probably not wise. He always does this in a combo, but when he gets to this point in his health, he adds this to the combo. Like, I'm learning, right? I get out of the first level and I'm 35. So I shaved 20 years off my time. Good stuff. So the thing is, if you don't mind doing the same levels over and over again with incremental progress, depending on which moves you purchase, learning how to effectively move through it, like it's a speedrunner mindset. But honestly, the combat is so fun and visceral, I didn't mind it. But also keep in mind that I've only put in a few hours into this game so far
Right.
because Pokemon. I didn't want to only talk about Pokemon, but I also didn't want to stay away from Pokemon too long because I'm
Right.
obsessed. But Sifu, I don't regret the purchase. I'm really glad I have it. I think it's a good game. Again, if you take issue with, I mean, it's 2022. What the fuck, guys? You couldn't hire a single Chinese person. Really?
Right.
It's just, but aside from that, the game itself in a vacuum, it's solid. I mean, it's a good action game. I would liken it to a Devil May Cry because you learn the moves
Mm.
and it can be tough and you have mobs of enemies coming your way. Obviously, it's more like old boy hallway
Yeah.
fight, little visceral, than it is like flashy sword fighting demon. But it's like if you were to just do the fists in Devil May Cry and you were fighting
Yeah.
humanoid enemies. That's kind of what it feels like to me.
Okay.
It's definitely, its DNA is closer to that of a versus fighting game like Street Fighter than it is to something like a Muso or Warriors or like a mindless beat 'em up. It's definitely not mindless. You can go in and if you're not paying attention or just jamming on buttons willy nilly, you're gonna die. You're gonna get
Yeah.
your ass handed to you over and over
It's like the Dark Souls of video
again.
games.
I was trying so hard to avoid that.
Always gotta
Oh
throw it
my
in there.
god.
I was watching one video. They were like comparing everything to Dark Souls as if Dark Souls invented difficulty.
Yeah. No, I'm so annoyed by that, and I'm so over even joking about how annoyed I am by that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. People are gonna do it, and I get it. It feels very roguelike in its DNA because you start over basically fresh each run, but it does save incremental progress. It'll save what age you are when you get to a new level. And if you put enough points into buying ability enough times, you get to use that ability on a fresh run.
Oh, okay.
And I like that. That gives me hope. That plus you really do learn. Like I said, immediately redoing that first level and shaving what was it, 20 years off my life, pretty good.
Yeah, it made you feel good.
Yeah, it made me feel pretty good. I was like, hey, gamer, capital G.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody out there is like, you were 55 when you shut up. I don't care.
I was
I care.
18 when I got done.
Yeah, right.
I actually got younger as I played the game.
de-aged. I was a baby.
I was Benjamin Button in this.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody on Twitch right now is like, Sifu, baby mode.
Right.
I'm about to finish this bitch as a toddler.